Friday, December 26th, and it's pretty foggy as shit. Oh, and there's my curtains. The curtains getting in your way. Yeah, because I was sitting down in here, I was debating. Of course, I don't know that it's going to be any better later, either, but I guess I could. Oops. I haven't even turned on my mouse yet. Goodness, I'm all sorts of troubled. But yeah, I was debating laying down, taking my nap or something, or, just relaxing in bed. I'm trying to open the thing to get a little bit more light in here. Use the, use the computer screens. But I don't know if this fog is going to go away. It's pretty frogorific out there. So, if it's not going to get any better, I figured I'd just go ahead, because I know it's been so long since we've talked, I gotta get the plug in, because it said it only had 14 minutes of taping time left. So I'm like, maybe I should plug it in before I sit down, because I got a few things to show you from what I bought today on half off. But yes, I know it's been so long since we chatted that few days ago, whenever that was. Yes, go ahead of focus. There we go. Perfection. Oh my lordy. Clementine, you were lost and gone forever. There, maybe that'll... Hey, professionalism. You just kind of saw one of the things there. Minxie's new little thing, if she even uses it. Because, yeah, of course, we go in. I was condensing the Christmas as much as I could, trying to shove it all down. It's actually a little warm in here. It's like 60-some degrees, I think, maybe. I don't know. I almost need to, wear shorts or something, or turn on the air. That's, kind of warm in here. 51 degrees is what it says outside. What's the high going to be today? 64? Yeah. But, I went to throw something away in the trash can, and I could see we already had, some people standing by the door waiting, and it was still, 20 minutes to go before we opened. And when that door opened, there was a flood of people. I don't know, in the last couple of years, it hasn't really been that big of a deal. For some reason, man, people were coming in for those deals this year, and there was a couple things that I wanted to get, and I was like, oh, great, we're gonna probably be out of them by the time I, get to go clock out, because technically, the policy is that the customers get, first run of it, so it's not like, even though the stuff went half off at probably midnight or something, we weren't supposed to purchase it. From my understanding of it, I think some people do anyway, and nothing ever really happens, but I believe it's a policy, and it's one of those policies that, are they going to enforce it or not? But technically, customers are supposed to get, first draft picks of, their fantasy football team or whatever. But technically, when we're on lunch, we're customers, so... But, I guess the public, gets first pick. So I was like, damn, my shit's gonna be gone by the time I get out of here. But it wasn't. It actually wasn't. I actually got, I believe, everything that I was looking at the other day, because I was looking at some paper, and I was like, that's a little bit expensive, so I'm gonna wait until it goes half off. And I got the Plepler. This is a 3-pack. I mostly wanted it for the kitties. As you can see, the kitties there. And I kind of like this one too, with the Christmas trees. And I guess that's kind of a neat design, but I don't know how much it actually really says Christmas to it. But definitely the Christmas kitties. I definitely wanted the Christmas kitties. There's one with a wreath around, or I guess it's garland around him or her or whatever. So I definitely wanted the Christmas kitties, and I got the Christmas kitties. So blam. And then the other ones were like the shiny one. I think that was like $5, being half off. And these were, well, I think that was 5. I could look at it. I don't know. I mean, I rounded up. It was like 4 something, I think, maybe. Or maybe a little bit over 5. Because these were like 4. The 376 or something. I'm just basically saying it was 4. These are all, you know me, and shiny slip covers when it comes to my movies. So, shiny wrapping paper. I like shiny wrapping paper as well. So it's like I wanted to get these, and like I said, this was like $4-ish. And then I swear I thought there was maybe one other one that I wanted to get, but this I kind of like this because it kind of looks like 3D, kind of with this background here, this shiny background. It kind of makes the little snowmen look like they're sticking out. I thought there was one of these that I wanted to get that had like Santa Claus on it, but all I could find was the one with the snowman on it. And I was like, there's one other one that I think that I want to get, but I couldn't remember exactly what it was. But I wasn't seeing anything in the pile, in the bin, whatever you call it, because they kind of had this little group together. And I was like, I wasn't seeing anything in that group that was like, oh yeah, that was it. That was the other one that I wanted to get. So I kind of dug around in there and I didn't see it. And then I turned around and on the pile behind me was one of them. And it is little candies. Look at all these little candies. I like them. Ignite. And it has the same like, kind of 3D-ish kind of background to it, which is just neat. Love it, love it. Oh, list it. Love it, love it. So, I got my little candies. And then I got something for Minxie. Now, whether she actually uses it or not, I don't know. But I've had my eye on these since they came in. And they, some of the other stuff was going on clearance, and these never did. But they finally did. They went down to $12. And it's like, they were like $23, I think. So these were half off. I say $12. It was like 11 and some change, whatever, But I got one, and you kind of already saw the top of it. But it's a little Christmas tree house. It's a little Christmas tree house for Minxie. So we'll see if she actually even uses that. But it's got a little star on the top and a little, she can just crawl in there and curl up and go to sleep if she wants to. But we'll see, like I said, if she actually does. So let me get the thing off of it. Shit. Well, I got the card off of it, but not the frickin' thing. I don't think I have anything to cut it with either. So, other than scissors, which are in the other fucking room. I guess I could just take it off later, or whatever, if biting it doesn't work. Biting it worked. There it is. That stupid little fucking thing. Got it. Got it. Just what I thought I could put it on the floor here. And see if Minxie crawls in it here in a minute. If I cover up all of her toys. She won't be happy about that. But, so yes, I've had my eye on these little cat houses. She never really uses them. Referee would have, probably. He might have curled up in it. But, I mean, it looks pretty tiny. I don't know. I think Minx can curl up in there. But we shall see. We'll find out. But now she might just rip the balls off of it. And play with those. We shall see. But now she has herself a little cat house to go, sleep in or whatever. So we'll see if she do. Or completely ignores it like everything else. So I have the little kitty pirate ship in there. Referee would climb in that every once in a while. But I think he maybe laid down in it once or twice, but not really. What was the other thing? There was something that referee loved to get in. Something in there. I don't know, but anyway, I'll have this, for cats in the future, someday in the future. Not until Minxie, is gone, because she likes ruling the roost. She likes being the master of the domain here. So she doesn't need or want a buddy. A referee would have needed a buddy if Minxie had went before him, but Minxie's fine. Minxie is fine, being the only one here. So, but yeah, I had a good Christmas. Yes, our family get together was pretty lively. We had a lot of stuff going on. Mom had a very full house. I don't even know. I was doing okay until, I don't even know. I remember we were sitting in the front room. It was me and Barb and I think my sister. I started crashing out. I was like, Ralph, you said something about like playing chess, and I gave him some kind of answer that was not English. It was not a word. I was kind of like, nah, or something. I can't remember exactly. And he kind of asked to play chess jokingly, because he knew I was like half asleep or whatever. Because he said something about, he's like, dang, he's like, this is the one time I could probably win, or something like that. I can't remember. He said something along those lines. I don't know. But, so I crashed out, and, yeah, everybody left at some point. I don't know. I know I was awake at least to hug my cousin Barb goodbye. And I really don't remember much after that point. I know at some point Mom and I were sitting, in the front room, and I was out good. And then Mom was sleeping in the front room, so I decided to go back to the bedroom and lay down in there, and maybe just play my games or whatever, just stay out of her way and let her sleep, let her rest, and that's where I stayed until Christmas morn. I got up a couple times to pee. There was one time it was like, I think it was like 7 or something, and because I was worried I was going to wake Mom up, or I was going to wake Cinnamon up, which would wake Mom up. I was worried about, because I was trying to listen. I'm like, is Mom awake? And it's like, so I finally was like, I gotta pee, I gotta go. So I had to go. And it's like, I kind of tried to peek around the corner into the front room, and it's like, I didn't see the TV on, so I was like, well, Mom must still be asleep, so I'll go back to bed then, I'd go back to bed, go back to the bedroom, and just kind of lay there and play my games again. Somehow my battery saver got turned on, because I noticed it stopped at like 85%. I plugged my phone in when I was going to sleep because it was low, and then like when I woke up it was only 85%, and I'm like, well, that's weird. And it said something about I had some kind of battery saver on to where like it would only charge to 85%, and I'm like, well, that's fucking stupid. That's half the time when I'm like messing with my phone when I'm half asleep, like I'll open things and click on things and I don't know that I do them, and I fuck it up, I'm always worried when I'm scrolling through Facebook that I'm going to accidentally like unfriend someone or something I don't intend to do, like laugh at somebody's talking about a loved one dying or something, and I accidentally react to it or whatever. I don't know, but accidentally give it a thumbs up, like, yeah, I don't know. But that's kind of the shit that happens, because I must have done that somehow when I was half asleep, or it was in my pocket. I remember it was being in my pocket, and it was like it was on some kind of setting, something, and I don't even know how I got there. But yeah, so I figured out where that was, and I turned that off. So now I can go up to 100% with my phone. But yeah, Mom and I had our Christmas, and then we went and we had Christmas with my Uncle Mike and Aunt Laura, and then we came back down here, and I watched something. I watched the Family Guy Christmas special. That's what I watched. Because it was, I didn't really want to watch it after Christmas because it's Christmas themed, but I know I got Stranger Things to watch. Marilee was watching it in the break room. Of course, she had her earbuds in, so it wasn't like I was getting spoiled on anything, but I do go in tonight for what I believe is my last night of overtime. Because my shift on the 2nd is still not there, removed, whatever. So I assume that means that I will not be going in for overtime again after tonight. So I'm supposed to ask my manager tonight. So I don't know if he's going to get an email or waiting for official word on, whether or not we can continue overtime or whatever. I don't know. But she's taking an interest. She's taking an interest. She's checking it out. She's rejecting it. at least for now, she's rejecting it. Cool. But anyway, she might check it out again. She might, later. Who knows? But yes, I believe I am going in for my last gasp of overtime tonight. So, yay! I was kind of looking forward to it ending anyway. Even though I was like, well, I could still probably use the money, but I mean, hey, whatever, man. Nope, she just went over to the other end of the couch. So, she's good. She's cool. She's coaching. But, so I'll have to watch the Stranger Things Saturday night, as long as I can be awake. I like to watch them in the dark, so, and we are going to the city for lunch. Mom's not going to be able to go because we're not sure if we're going to do anything else. If we were just going up to eat for lunch and coming back, because my uncle's Christmas, friends and family kind of get together. Christmas get together is that night, so Mom's going to have to work. So she figures she's just going to skip it, since she would like to have seen Marilee's mom, but and Marilee too, and everybody else. Maybe not me. She's probably seen enough of me lately. But since Heather's not sure if we're going to do anything else while we're up there, Mom didn't want to hold us back from being able to, And that's what I was trying to figure out. I'm like, well, if if we go up to Sean's, and then Sean brings us over to the restaurant, and then I can leave with Heather and go do whatever we're going to do in the city. And, of course, Sean might want to come along, too, for that. So I guess, maybe we should, because then it's like, I was like, well, Sean can take you back to your car, and then you can go home. And she's like, I don't really want to, that's a lot of driving. She figures she better just stay home and rest up in case it's a long night. Because sometimes, if there's a lot of people, it's a long night, and sometimes if there's nobody and they just sit around, and sometimes that can make you even more tired than actually, being up running around doing stuff. But so unfortunately, Mom's not going to be able to join us, but we're going to go eat Bella's. It's an Italian restaurant. I probably won't film any of it. I don't really think there's a reason to, really, because we might go do some shopping or something, but I just don't think it'll be terribly interesting at all. But it's not like we're going to a museum. We might end up at a museum. Who the fuck knows? I don't know. We probably just go around, do some shopping, maybe go look for some Funko Pops or something. But anyway. So I'll have to watch the Stranger Things episodes tomorrow night. Oh, so many Christmas. But anyway, before I fall asleep, I guess I should answer this week's question. That is what we are doing here, is it not? You wouldn't know, by the way, I just blah 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 on about everything else, but what's the earliest memory you have from childhood? What's the earliest memory I have from childhood? Well, that's kind of hard to say, because I don't know for sure what the I mean, I have a lot of, I mean, maybe not a lot. I have memories, early memories of life, but which one actually is the earliest or came first, I couldn't tell you. I remember being in our house when it was separated into apartments, and Mom turned on the stove so that we could have extra heat for the night. I remember sleeping with the oven on that night, or the oven open, or whatever, I don't know, to help heat the room, because basically it was just a kitchen, a front room, and a bedroom, and then like the bathroom, so it wasn't a very big space. So that would probably count as my earliest memory, and there again, if I'm not remembering things incorrectly either, because you never know, the mind plays tricks on you. Because there's this thing, I remember this really tall, and I mean, I was a kid, so it was probably really tall to me. There used to be this really tall, like, staircase. It was like a brick, like, building, I guess you would call it, a brick enclosure at Independence Center, one of the local malls. And it housed the staircase to go up to the next level. And I remember that thing like being as tall as the ceiling. Like, I remember that thing being super fucking tall. And then Mom and I, one day when we were dicking around on YouTube when she was here spending the night, we found an old video of Independence Center, and I saw that, that brick enclosure, whatever. It was nowhere near as tall as it looked to me when I was a child. So, you can misremember things. I remember, because we lived in the house when it was apartments. We lived in half of the house, and then we moved to another house. So living there and having the oven on must be the earliest memory that I have, for whatever reason. I remember going mushroom hunting. Mom was actually just talking about this yesterday when she was bringing me home. Mom and her friend Arlene, who we go down to Joplin sometimes to visit, they went mushroom hunting or whatever, and they took us. The mom took me, and Arlene's youngest child was Abby, and so they took us out, in the woods or whatever. And I remember Abby plopping down and starting to eat the dirt. So I remember that, but so I don't know where that falls into the whole spectrum. I have some memories of being at the other house. I remember I used to have a Gilligan's Island playset, and I hate myself for this, because knowing how much that thing has to be worth now. Like, there was the island, you had a little raft, but there was this, it was one of those old houses with like a giant vent in the floor for the furnace, and it had like the square holes or whatever, and that was the pit of death, and I would shove the characters from Gilligan's Island. They would be trying to walk across this pit of death, and no one ever made it across the pit of death. They would all like fall through the holes. I don't know how I got Skipper through the holes, because I assume his little figure had to be a lot bigger than the rest of them. But yeah, I guess as a kid I didn't realize I wasn't getting those back when they went down the pit of death. That might have even been how the fire started in in that house. Maybe. Sorry, Mom. I remember the kittens being born, or the kittens being under my bed at that house. And I have a memory, and I wish I could remember who this was, because my mom was having a Halloween party at her house, and I've seen the pictures. I've seen the pictures of the people, but none of them like stand out because I don't really remember. It could have been Mom herself. I don't know. For some reason, I was thinking it wasn't Mom though, but maybe I'm just misremembering things. But there was a guy. His name is Bobo. I don't know if that's his actual name. I think his actual name is Bob, but he was called Bobo, and he was dressed up as the Incredible Hulk, and he was scaring me. So I don't even know if I was crying or I don't know, but there was a woman came in the front room and picked me up and was like coddling me. She's like, "Is he scaring you?" Whatever, blah 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 blah, and I guess that made me feel better. I don't know. I don't know if it was Mom though. I don't know if it was Mom or if it was, for some reason I was thinking it wasn't Mom, because I thought it was weird that somebody else was like trying to take care of me or whatever. I seem to have that kind of remember having that thought, but maybe it was Mom. Maybe I was tired. Maybe I just don't know, and I cannot. That's one of like the mysteries of my life, is who was the woman that saved me from Bobo Hulk. I don't know. I don't know. I just remember her, whoever it was, picking me up and like, kind of hugging me and like, kind of, bouncing me or hugging, like rocking me, whatever. And he's like, "Is that man scaring you?" Whatever. I can't remember exactly what she said, but so I have no idea. I have no idea who that was. I was thinking I had another memory from that house, but maybe not. But those would probably all be after. I mean, I assume the one, because I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure because we lived in that house, the first house, when it was separated into apartments, and then we went and we lived in the other house where all of this other stuff happened. But then we moved back to the apartment house, but the landlord knocked the wall down in between the two apartments, and we had the whole house. Some would say maybe that's what woke the ghost up. I don't know. Because one of my earliest memories in that house, maybe my first memory in the house, is waking up and finding the bathtub had turned on by itself. So, I mean, maybe the cat could have done it. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things like, it never happened before and it never happened again. So, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird. There was a lot of stuff in that house that it's like, maybe it has a logical explanation, but I'm like, it never happened before and it never happened again. So, I don't know. Like the window raising by itself. Like, I don't know. I think I have a whole video on my paranormal experiences in that house. If I can think of it, I'll link it below so you can go check that out if you wish. But that's probably my earliest memory in that house, is waking up and finding the bathtub had turned on by itself. As far as I know. I don't know. Maybe I was sleepwalking and I turned it on. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure the thing with sleeping in the front room with the oven on, I'm pretty sure that was when it was just the apartment. We were staying there when it was just the apartment, not when it was the whole house. But maybe it was. I don't recall exactly for sure. I just remember sleeping in that half of the house. Because the other half of the house, it had a kitchen too, but it wasn't hooked up anymore. Like there was a sink, but you couldn't use it. I don't think there was an oven in that room. We basically just used it for storage. But it was the other, when it was two apartments, it was the kitchen for the other apartment, but it didn't work anymore as far as I knew anyway. But it wasn't hooked up. Like I said, I don't think we had a stove or an oven or anything in there, fridge, nothing. Like I said, as far as I know, the sink didn't even work. So I don't know if I ever tried to turn it on. I don't know if any paranormal entities ever tried to turn it on either. It's kind of boring because it didn't run water, maybe. I don't even know if there was running water to it or not. but I don't think I ever tried. So I don't know. So I'm pretty sure, like I said, the sleeping in the front room with the oven on in the front in the kitchen for warmth during the winter. I'm pretty sure that had to be when, but maybe not. I don't know. I just remember that happening in that house, and it would have had to have been in that half of the house because, that was where the end of the house that the working kitchen was on. The working stove would have been. So I'm gonna say maybe that's my earliest memory. Maybe. But there again, I have little things like I remember being at the restaurant, being at my Uncle Bill's restaurant, and I can't remember the name of that old man. He used to call me Little Ricky, because Rick's, the name of my father. He used to call me Little Ricky, and I would hide. I remember I would hide behind Mom. So maybe that's my earliest memory. I don't know. I don't know where these memories fall exactly, or because Mom and Grandma would be having coffee, whatever, talking, whatever, and they had these little things of coffee creamer on the table, and they tasted nice and sweet to me. It was some kind of powder form, though. It wasn't a liquid form. It was some kind of powder form of coffee creamer or something. So I would open one of them and stick my finger in it and lick it off my finger and just do like that. So maybe that's my earliest memory. I don't know. There again, I don't know exactly for sure where these fall. I remember my cousin Ray. He would always he would crack an egg, maybe multiple eggs, I don't know, in a glass, and he would drink them. I remember him doing that once. I remember being in, because I guess my Uncle Bill had his arcade and sandwich shop in 4 different places, maybe. Because there was, but that might have been the original location, maybe. I don't even know what that building is now. Because I remember him walking there again. I was a kid, so it's probably not as tall as I thought. But there was a walkway around there was a second floor, but it was like a catwalk kind of. From the memory that I have of this barely happening, because I remember my Uncle Bill being up on that little walkway around the ceiling, kind of. Like I said, there was a second floor, but it was, it was open to where, like I said, it was just kind of like a catwalk that went around the room from what I barely remember of that happening. So that's a lot of memories. I don't know which one wins the title of my earliest memory, but there you go. Spend time down memory lane with me, I guess. But definitely, not the ones in the second house, because probably, unless that one, like I said, that one about sleeping in the front room with the oven for warmth. I want to say that was when we when it was an apartment, but maybe not. I just kind of remember it happening. So. Unless I dreamt it. Which is also possible. Oh, my goodness. But yeah, so that's how I remember. I remember my grandpa hiding things around the house. And, he would always say, "It's in plain sight. It's in plain sight." And I don't know if I knew what that meant. or not. I was trying to help, I guess. Trying to help, but sometimes that's the best way to hide something is right, because I will overlook shit in front of my face like nothing, I do it all the time at work. trying to figure out where this one product goes, and I basically look, you know, if it's like a kind of Kool-Aid or something, I basically look at every single flavor of Kool-Aid but the one that I need. Somehow my brain just passes right over to the one that actually is where it goes, or whatever. Something akin to that. But anyway, there is your walk down memory lane with me, I guess, kind of thing. There again, which one is the earliest memory? Can't exactly tell you. It's one of those somewhere mixed it in there. Hello, Marilee. So I guess I should check that out, and I should shut up and let y'all go because I have chatted enough, I think. Macy is still not in her new bed. She's over there on the other end of the couch. But we will remain diligent and hopeful that maybe she'll check it out. But anyway, other than that, go have yourself a good weekend. I guess I'll be back next week with another question, and also next week will be the Goodyear Jar on December the 31st, which is Thursday, maybe? Is that Thursday? Nope, it's Wednesday. So next Wednesday, I will be doing the Goodyear Jar for y'all, if you want to check that out. And then a week from today, ish, you know, sometimes I do it Saturday, Sunday. But since, I mean, if I'm not working overtime next week, I'll have plenty of time on Friday to do it. So we shall see. Other than that, have yourself a good weekend. And I shall see you, if I remember to put up that paranormal video, I'll stick it up here beside my face and the creepy clown doll. But other than that, have a good one, and I shall see you for when I see you.